We didn't have to. We finally understood what she had been trying to teach us all along. If you've listened to my story this far, thank you. I'd love to know what you would have done if your own child had secretly sold your home. Could you have forgiven them after everything that happened? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who believes family is worth fighting for, and subscribe to Silent Legacy for more emotional family stories. I almost lost my home. My son almost lost his future. But in the end, the greatest inheritance my wife left behind wasn't a house. It was the chance for us to become a family again. The night my own son-in-law ordered me out of the house I'd spent 35 years paying for, I honestly believed I'd lost everything. My daughter stood behind him without saying a single word. She wouldn't even meet my eyes. I picked up one small suitcase, walked into the cold autumn rain, and left without arguing. Less than 24 hours later, police officers knocked on my motel room door. What they told me made my knees buckle. My son-in-law wasn't the victim he pretended to be, and my daughter was in far more danger than I had ever imagined. If you've ever wondered how quickly a family can fall apart, maybe you'll understand why I still think about that night. The people, places, and scenes shown with this story are fictional and are only visual illustrations to help tell the story. My name is Frank Dawson. I'm 69 years old, a retired electrician from Indiana. After my wife, Mary, passed away 5 years ago, the house became painfully quiet. Every room reminded me of her laughter, but it was still home. When my daughter, Sarah, and her husband, Kevin, lost their apartment, I didn't hesitate. Stay here as long as you need, I told them. I meant every word. At first, everything seemed fine. Kevin thanked me constantly. He helped mow the lawn and even repair the old porch steps. I thought I had gained the son I never had. But slowly, little things began to change. Kevin started calling the house our place. He moved my wife's photographs into the attic because they made him uncomfortable. He changed the locks without asking me. When I questioned him, he smiled. I'm just making the house safer. Sarah kept telling me not to worry. Dad, he's only trying to help. I wanted to believe her. Then, one Friday evening, Kevin stood in the living room holding a folder. You need to leave, he said. I laughed, thinking it had to be some kind of joke. He didn't laugh back. This house belongs to us now. I stared at him, completely confused. What are you talking about? He slid several papers across the table. Then he said something that made my heart stop. You signed everything months ago. I had never signed a single document. Yet somehow, my own signature appeared on every page. I sat there staring at the papers, unable to understand what I was looking at. Every signature looked exactly like mine. My name, my handwriting, my initials on every page. But I had never seen those documents before in my life. I didn't sign any of this, I said. Kevin folded his arms. You can tell that to a judge. Sarah stood behind him with tears in her eyes. Kevin, maybe we should slow down. He turned toward her. No, your father agreed months ago. He's changing his story because he doesn't want to leave. I looked at my daughter. Sarah, you know I'd never give away this house without telling you. She lowered her eyes. I don't know what to believe anymore. Those words hurt more than anything Kevin had said. I quietly picked up my suitcase. I'm leaving because I don't want the police dragging my daughter into an argument. Kevin smirked. Smart decision. That night, I checked into the cheapest motel I could find. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I kept seeing my wife's photographs, sitting in the attic, and a stranger sleeping in the bedroom we had shared for 40 years. Around 8 the next morning, someone knocked on my motel door. I assumed it was housekeeping. Instead, 2 police officers stood outside. Mr. Frank Dawson? Yes. I'm Detective Miller. This is Officer Jenkins. My stomach tightened. Has something happened? The detective looked serious. We need you to come with us. Am I under arrest? No. Then what's this about? He glanced at the folder in his hands. We examined the property documents your son-in-law submitted yesterday. My heart started racing. And the signatures don't match samples from your driver's license, tax records, or bank documents. I froze. So they're fake. The detective nodded. We believe someone forged your signature. Before I could speak, he added something I never expected. We also searched public records this morning. What did you find? The house was never legally transferred. I let out a long breath. But that's not why we're here. My chest tightened again. What is it? Detective Miller looked directly into my eyes. Last night, after you left the house, your daughter called 911. My hands began to shake. Is Sarah okay? The detective paused for a moment before answering. She disappeared before we arrived. Detective Miller drove me back to my neighborhood without saying much. The silence made my imagination worse. Every possibility raced through my mind. Had Kevin hurt Sarah? Had she run away? Had something happened because I wasn't there to protect her? When we reached the house, yellow police tape stretched across the front porch. Neighbors stood outside whispering. My stomach dropped. Detective Miller led me inside. The living room was a mess. A lamp had been knocked over. A chair lay on its side, and shattered glass covered the kitchen floor. This happened after you left, he said. I could barely speak. Where's Kevin? The detective looked at another officer. He claimed Sarah packed a bag and walked out around midnight after an argument. And you believe him? No. He pointed toward the hallway. Our crime scene team found signs of a struggle. I felt my knees weaken. Just then, another officer entered carrying a small evidence bag. Detective, we found this behind the washing machine. Inside the bag was Sarah's cell phone. The screen was cracked. Detective Miller unlocked it with permission from the phone company using emergency procedures. The last message Sarah had tried to send appeared on the screen. It wasn't finished. Dad, Kevin knows about the papers. The message ended there. My heart broke. Sarah had tried to warn me. Before she could finish, something had stopped her. Just then, the forensic technician called everyone into the kitchen. We found fingerprints on the forged property documents. Detective Miller asked, "Do they belong to Frank?" The technician slowly shook his head. "No, Kevin. Yes, but there's another set." "Whose?" The technician handed over the report. The detective's expression changed immediately. "These prints belong to the notary public who supposedly witnessed the signatures." "What does that mean?" I asked. "It means the notary may have helped forge the documents." At that exact moment, the detective's phone rang. He answered, listened for several seconds, then looked directly at me. "We've located Sarah." I felt a wave of relief. "Is she safe?" He hesitated before answering. "She's alive." My relief vanished as quickly as it came. "But she's in the hospital, and the first thing she asked was to speak with you before she gave her statement."